Hello everyone, my name is Luana de Luna Sena and I am the Business Development Manager at GTC. And I have here with me Ricardo Martins, the VP of Messaging at iBasis. Thank you for having your time with us.
No, thank you. Pleasure is mine. It's a great pleasure.
And
hello to everyone.
So, thank you. We will be talking about the introduction between iBasis and GTC since the beginning.
Yeah, I think I met Jose a few years ago. Let's say, I always say a few years because I stopped counting.
After the pandemic, we stopped counting.
I think the challenge at the time is, so I've been in the industry for 22, 23 years, most of them with a background on voice. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, I think that the trend was the voice operators needed to keep growing, mm-hmm. and messaging was an area that was definitely growing. And because we were an MNO, we saw that increase of the business in terms of the termination in our network. And we wanted to understand how could we move from a wholesale voice business to an wholesale messaging business. And the contact with Jose started in that moment. We needed advisors because I used to say that at the time we were already coming a bit late to the party and we needed to save time and avoid mistakes. And I think that was one of the biggest assets and added value brought by GTC, because it enabled us at the time to move straight to the business with the good time to market without avoiding the normal mistakes. Yes. That an MNO or a voice carrier does when he's trying to develop messaging. You
say you came late, and it was a few years ago, and let's not say how many years, but that's true, that was your reality. So an MNO is already in voice, doing business great. You realize that SMS is not the same as voice, and you prefer to get some help and plan your strategy, how to get into SMS, how to make that good margin, because it's better than voice. And then you saw Jose, which is one expert in the message, and he had done that before. So he took some MNOs and some players where want to get into the business messaging by the hand and took you for the whole process and was successful. I believe actually your success with how you started business messaging was actually greater and bigger than other players. So after you started the relationship with him, how was it? After you got into the messaging, he was supporting you with the strategy and...
Yeah, so at the time we basically wanted to develop a messaging strategy, and we sit together and we had to define what are the assets we had at the time, and with those assets, what could be the strategy. I think topics since the selection of a platform, what technical skills do we need to have in-house, what technical support we could have from GTC, go-to-market strategy. So successful or not, what happened was that in a period of 2 years, 3 years, we were actually, let's say the MNO for which I was working, decided to outsource fully the business to iBasis. And iBasis selected that business because we also had messaging. And of course, moving to iBasis, the challenge and the scope is completely different. But we have today still the opportunity to challenge ourselves mutually on a daily basis, because the support and the partnership continues up to today, right? And that's why I'm here. Yes. In beautiful Aracena.
Up to today, we still have this relationship growing. And you say challenge each other, right? Because you bring us some new challenges. We come up with a solution together, we support each other, and we are learning together. And you're right, like we still have the good relationship still growing. Now as well with the firewall, that we have a really beautiful and good support. Is that correct that the support that you have from GTC, it's longer and stronger than what you expected from the other company before, and not like within the whole iBasis, not only SMS right now?
Definitely, yeah. I think the partnership we had at NOS that was incorporated into iBasis was the cornerstone, but now the scope and the multiplicity of projects that we are doing together is much bigger. iBasis grew together with GTC, and of course the dimensioning of the company, the scope. iBasis is a worldwide independent player, while NOS was an MNO in a specific region. But the challenges we have and the growth we have been doing the last 2 years, from NOC support, from platform management, product management, M&A consultancy.
Yes.
So the firewall testing and firewall support. So the way and that's a bit, I think, the perfect combination between iBasis and GTC is that iBasis has a very entrepreneurial culture. We see all the challenges, and we have a very close relationship globally with a lot of players. And by partnering with GTC, we can do, in an optimal scale, a proof of concept, a test, test an idea, and then if it works, we can scale it up and prepare the go-to-market. And I think that also GTC likes to be challenged.
Of course.
And that I think that's a perfect combination because we support each other and we use the different strengths of your market expertise, your technical knowledge, and iBasis I think brings the scale and a bit more more opportunities.
Yes.
And that together we have been a successful partnership.
No, it is. It's beautiful. And you're right, we can see the opportunities growing up together. Like you mentioned, the NPT is a platform, great, and the firewall. But going more into iBasis, because we are 18 people, and we are a consolidated company. So we're not just a one-man show showing just one support freelancer. We are whole companies giving the whole support for the marketing, the strategy, the technical side. But about iBasis, iBasis is huge, global company. How is it for iBasis have like a consultancy on your side?
It's funny that you asked the question. I think at the beginning was a bit challenging because, let's say, iBasis being a global company with more than 300 employees, with offices all over the world, it had, especially on the more core businesses, it had a culture of doing in-house. And I think the challenge we had and the challenge the opportunity we brought forward was to treat messaging as a kind of startup inside iBasis.
Interesting.
And we try to be smart with the resources we allocate and kind of trying to grow the business and invest in the technology and the resources at the same pace we were growing, and at the same time showing that there was a business potential and that there is a strategy that is correct, that is fit, and then we can further invest. And I think that combination, that was a challenge that iBasis had, was perfectly addressed with the support of GTC, because with the knowledge of GTC, we could, with I would say, limited investment in terms of resources, save time, have a product designed according to iBasis specifications and the requests and needs of iBasis customers, but tailor-made to the market, in a proper time to market, saving a lot of attempts and errors, and that I think is the big value added of GTC, with all your technical expertise and market knowledge and product information. We could save time and accelerate iBasis growth.
And we're really proud to be helping supporting such a successful story. And we know we're gonna still keep this relationship for a long, long time, support each other and grow with each other, right?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I think that's, as I said, it's we bring the two worlds together, and we work in a way that it's a win-win scenario. And I think that's the best compliment we can say to GTC, is that GTC is part of the team.
It is definitely. Well, we rely on each other, we support each other, we see the opportunity to support you and learn. So yeah, I think we're just gonna grow from here. Ricardo, thank you so much for your time. It's a really pleasure having you here.
It's a great pleasure to be in Spain with GTC event. That's becoming a landmark of the industry.
Yes.
So we are very proud and happy to be here.
Our greatest partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.